Rethinking praise. Why saying, good job, might not be so good after all. Praise is meant to build up our children. But what if I told you that some types of praise can actually hold them back in the long run? Here are a few types of praise to avoid that I will be explaining with examples. Stay tuned for number 1. Avoid generic praise. Number 2. The problem with conditional praise. Number 3. The danger of comparative praise. Number 4. The trap of absolute statements. Number 5. Why insincere praise falls flat. Lastly, the power of thoughtful praise. Avoid generic praise. Take generic praise. Phrases like, you're so smart or you're the best. They sound encouraging, but here's the problem. Over time, kids start believing their abilities are fixed. If they think they are naturally smart, they might avoid challenges because failing would mean they're not smart. And if they struggle with something, like a test or an art project, they start questioning their abilities altogether. Instead, try this. Suppose your child shows you their work. Instead of saying, wow, this is amazing, you're so smart, try saying, oh my god, I love how much effort you put into your project. Look at the details. I'm in love with your thought process. This teaches them that growth comes from trying, not just talent, natural abilities, or worse, superpowers. The problem with conditional praise. Then there is conditional praise, like, I'm so proud you got an A. It sounds positive, but it can send the message that success is the only thing that matters. Over time, kids may start believing that their worth is tied to achievements, and when they struggle, because at some point they will, they might feel like a failure. Instead, say, I'm proud of how much you studied. I could see your dedication. This reminds them that they are valued for their efforts, not just their results. And this is something we should reinforce with our faith too. Even Allah Ta'ala doesn't expect perfection. He rewards effort and sincerity. He sees the struggle, not just the outcome. The dangers of comparative praise. Comparative praise, statements like, you're better at math than your brother, or you're the fastest on the team. It might feel like a confidence boost, but it can actually create pressure, insecurity, or even resentment. A child might think, what if I'm not the fastest next time? Or what if someone else catches up? This can also lead to unhealthy competition or jealousy, especially when it comes to our deen. This makes no sense because Allah Ta'ala expects sincerity of intention and making the best of the abilities He has given them. Saying, look at your cousin, he finished the Quran at 7 and you're still not done. Instead of motivating, this kind of praise disguised as encouragement can make a child feel like they're behind or not as smart as their cousin, or worse, that you somehow prefer their cousin over them. Deen is never a race. It's a self-paced journey according to the strengths and weaknesses Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with. Instead, focus on personal growth. Your reading has really improved this month. I can tell you have been practicing. This helps them measure success against their own progress, not someone else's. The trap of absolute statements. Another mistake we often make is using absolute statements like, you never miss a class, you always pray on time, you're such a well-mannered child. The problem? No one is perfect all the time. When we praise in absolutes, kids might feel pressure to maintain that standard constantly. And when they do make a mistake, they might feel like they have completely failed. Instead, acknowledge their efforts in a way that allows for growth. I've noticed you've been trying to be on time lately. That must feel amazing. I see the effort you put into praying on time. You try being ready beforehand with wuzu and planning your activities around it. May Allah accept your efforts. You've been really working on your manners. I can tell. This way they understand that good habits are built over time, not something they have to be perfect at every moment. Why insincere praise falls flat? There is a major issue with insincere praise, flowery language, and not being specific. Insincere praise like, that's the best drawing I've ever seen. Kids can tell when we are exaggerating. Over time, they may stop trusting our words, or they might feel pressure to always impress us. they might also misunderstand what exactly they are praised for. Instead, be honest and specific. I love how creative you were with the colors. Tell me more about what you drew. Or, your maths problem solving has really improved this year. Even your rough work is neat and organized. You should be proud of the effort you're putting in. Being specific helps them understand what it is that they should continue doing. Their focus shifts from trying to impress us to continue enjoying the process of growth. The power of thoughtful praise. Here's the truth: the way we praise shapes how our children see themselves. When we are mindful of our words, praising effort, progress, and character, we help them build resilience, confidence, and a love for learning. But when we use generic, conditional, or insincere praise, we might unintentionally make them afraid of mistakes, overly competitive, or uncertain of their own worth. So let's choose our words carefully. Every word we say can either build a foundation of confidence or plant a seed of doubt. Let's build them up into the unique, capable creations of Allah Ta'ala that they truly are, one of a kind and full of potential.